Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Hello and welcome back to Revelations. In this episode we're going to look at a trick called the Triumph. This can be done with a borrowed deck or of course your own, and you start by giving the deck a good shuffle and mix. You then offer the deck for selection. The spectator can tap the back of any card they wish, and then you remove it and slide it to the bottom of the deck. In this case it is the King of Diamonds. The card can even be signed at this point. With a card selected and optionally signed, you turn it face down and place it onto your performance surface or a spectator's awaiting hand. You then do something slightly unusual. You cut the deck into two halves and then weave the two halves together, some of the cards going face up and some of them going face down, leaving you with a thoroughly mixed up deck. With the deck mixed in this fashion, you then insert the spectator's chosen playing card somewhere about halfway into the deck, so it is lost amongst the face up and face down cards. With this mess of a deck, you give one snap of your fingers, give a snap of the deck as well, and then you begin fanning through the deck to reveal that all the cards have now magically corrected themselves. They are all now 100% face upwards, all except for one card which is about halfway through the deck. This mysterious outlier is removed from the deck to reveal it is in fact the spectator's chosen King of Diamonds. And that is the Triumph. This is a classic impromptu trick and as such can be done with a borrowed deck, so start with your own deck or a borrowed deck and give it a shuffle and a mix. You can do a riffle shuffle or an overhand shuffle. Either way, just make sure the deck is obviously very mixed up and there is nothing special about it. With the deck mixed, you're now going to have a card selected. Now this is a genuine free choice, but you don't want to let the spectator remove the card themselves. Ask them to point to the back of the card, then move the card that they point to the face of the deck, then flip the whole deck face upwards. In this case, the card selected is the Ace of Hearts. Next, you're going to perform a move called a strike double. This is perhaps the most advanced piece of sleight I've taught on the series so far. What you're going to do is approach the deck with your outstretched finger and try and lift two cards as one in one movement. Just keep practicing this move until your fingertip becomes sensitive to what two cards feels like. Once you've got the strike double down, you can then flip two cards over as one, and then you're going to peel off just one card while performing a wrist kill, so tilting your wrist down and peeling off just the one card. This of course is not the spectator's chosen card. The spectator's chosen card is now face down on the bottom of the face up deck. Now comes a section of the Triumph where you're going to mix the cards face upwards and face downwards. To do this you want to have the deck squared up and you want to peel about half the deck upwards and over like so. While you're doing this, the other hand tilts downwards. Combining these actions creates the illusion that you're turning the deck face up and face down. The placement of the spectator's chosen playing card on the bottom of the deck means that they don't realise that what you're actually doing is mixing up an entire face up deck, with one card, the spectator's card, being in the opposite direction. You can now weave the two halves of the deck together, and to the spectator it appears that you're mixing them face up and face downwards. Take your time with this section just to make sure the spectator really sees that the cards are sliding together and that there is no question that the deck is thoroughly mixed up. Finally, you want to make sure that you center the spectator's chosen playing card, so give the deck one complete cut. Now take what the spectator believes to be their card and slide it face downwards into the face down deck. And that's it, the trick is now done. You can snap your fingers or make whatever magical gesture you wish, then slowly fan through the cards to reveal they have all corrected themselves, all except for one card, which of course you can reveal to be the spectator's chosen playing card. And that's the secret. Okay, thanks for watching. Now that was a fairly slight heavy version of the Triumph, and I want to make sure that beginners can also get something out of this video. So I'm going to show you a version of the trick now that doesn't have a card selected and is more or less self-working. So you take the deck of playing cards and you're going to mix them face up and face downwards. You push off some cards, flip them face up, flip them face down, and just go through the entire deck mixing it face up and face downwards. You can now show that some cards are in fact face up, some cards are face down, and some cards are even back to back. This is the nature of mixing the deck in such a fashion. You then give the deck one snap and you can fan through and reveal that all the cards are now the same direction. They are all face downwards, and this is a simple version of the Triumph. For something so simple, this is actually quite an impressive piece of magic. To begin with, what you want to be doing is taking a deck of playing cards, and of course it can be borrowed, so it can be a friend's deck of cards, and you just want to crimp it slightly, so bend the deck like so to create a bit of a bend throughout all the cards. You can see the bend there, it's subtle but it's important. Now you're going to start by thumbing off about 5 or 6 cards. Use your hand to flip them face upwards, and then thumb some cards below it, and then again flip the cards over. And what you're actually doing is basically just pushing cards face up and face down into their discrete piles. So what you end up with is half the deck face up and half the deck face downwards. You can see this here now as I fan through. The deck is already separated into 2 face up and face down halves. What you now want to do is show the deck to be more mixed than it actually is. So lift up a small packet of cards from the top of the deck to show that they are face upwards. Then reach lower into the deck to show that the cards are face downwards as well. This just creates the illusion that the cards are thoroughly mixed. Because of the bend that you've put into the deck, it's actually very easy to find the point at which the 2 halves meet, which means you can both show the cards are back to back, and also use this motion to correct the deck and place one half on top of the other. This simple action corrects the entire deck, and you can fan through to show that it is now all the right way round. If you like this trick, you can get more magic by downloading my iOS app Magic Kit Pro. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, remember, magic isn't what you do, it's what they remember.